Welcome, everyone, to my channel. If you've been here before, you know the drill. If you haven't been here before, welcome. Come on in. I promise I don't bite. So, I am listening to the Audible dramatized version of this, The Goblin Hero by Jim C. Hines. And I gotta say, I'm fucking enjoying it. It is awesome. It is great. It is magnificento to listen to. And I gotta tell you, the person who's reading it is doing fantastic. I mean, like, I read this without the Audible, and I'm just, like, doing much better than I would if I was reading it. So, they call him Jig, Dragon Slayer. And who is he to deny a legend? After all, common sense, something in very short supply among goblins, has a lot to do with Jig's continued existence. Though he's been captured by adventurers and dragged unwillingly along on their foolish quest, he's to survive both the necromancer and the dragon. If people want to insist he's a hero, he isn't going to fight about it. But the trouble with being labeled a hero is that everyone expects you to keep doing heroic things. And all Jig wants to do is worship his forgotten god, hang out with his pet fire spider, and heal humiliating goblin injuries. But to Kralk, the current head goblin, Jig is a threat to her power. So when an ogre comes to seek Jig Dragon Slayer's help against an unnamed enemy that's destroying or enslaving all of ogre kind, Kralk insists he accept the challenge with a large, exceptionally dumb goblin and an ancient crockety goblin who can barely walk as his unwanted sidekicks, and pursued by a goblin who's certain that she's meant to be the true goblin hero. Jig sets out for Ogre Tattletorn. After all, being killed by a magical enemy that can terrify an ogre is probably no worse than being killed by your friends. I don't know. Can I get this in better lighting for 2 seconds? So, this is Jig. That's Growl, and that's Barf. Braff? Yeah, them. Those are his unwilting companions. Poor Jig. Poor Jig, he's quaking in his boots. So it starts off with Jig healing Braff. Because, Braff was challenged to shove something up it. To touch his thing on this side to this side's nostril. And he did it. And then dude went poop and shoved it up his nostril. Like, goblins really are dumb, okay? They really be dumb. They be so dumb. They be dumb of the dumb. And then you meet Vecca. I really don't like Vecca. I think she's a little stupid, okay? So she found in the dragon's lair a book of spells and a book about being a hero by Joska, okay? So she can do a little bit of goblin magic, okay? So she can do a little magic, some binding spells and stuff like that, but she wants to learn more. But the spell book she has is like burnt, so there's not a lot of spells in there that she can read or use. So it's a little meh for her. But she wants Jig to be her master, to teach her. But Jig doesn't really know anything besides healing. And it's through the powers of Shadowstar, who is his forgotten god, by the way. I forgot his full name. Do you tell me his full name? Timilus Shadowstar, forgotten god of the autumn star. Okay. He's a healer. He heals things. He doesn't deal with anything else, okay? So, Braff is like, yeah, Kark leads you. So he goes to see what Kark walks. Well, there is an ogre who wants Jig the Dragon Slayer to come with him to go slay a monster. Okay? Because something is killing off ogres, and they want Jig Dragon Slayer to defeat the thing that is slaying them. So, he's like, oh, cool. I don't really want to go. Kralk is like, you can go, and here's Braff, and here's Grell. They will go with you. Okay? So, when they walk out the door, go down a few steps, he stops and goes, okay. Which one of you has been ordered to kill me? Braff was ordered to kill. And so wasn't Grow. Oh, we also find out that the ogre's name is Wallen Wallenson IV. Because that's how they name their children. Croak said she'd chop me up and toss me in Galaka's stew pot if you came back alive. She thinks you want to kill her and take her place. So that's Braff. And, Grow, she would make sure that Grow never had to work in the nursery again for the goblins. Because, that's where she worked and had to deal with terrible young goblins who like to bite and destroy shit. So, they both were assigned for it. And he's like, great. So they start their adventure, and the first thing they run into are hobgoblins. Well, Jake's like, here's an ogre. You want to fight him? Eat him first? So they let them pass. They don't really run into a lot of troubles. They get to the cave where the dragon Strom had been set up with all his lovely ogres and shit to protect him. Vecca, on the other hand, Vecca runs into a lot of problems. The first problem she has is getting past the hobgoblins. And when she finally gets past the hobgoblins, she runs into the sand lizards. So she goes back and she gets a hobgoblin to follow her by tricking them because they're dumb, They're just dumb. They're just complete up. They're dumb. Dumb. And so, since she has the hobgoblin following her, they make it to the dragon lair for Strom, and run into not one but two pixies. They find out that the pixies are what's taken over. Okay, so the first pixie was doing something with a body. The second pixie they found was because they went to the actual area where Strom lived. And she whacked the pixie and then ran off with her hobgoblin named Slash. And they actually came underneath the pixie's spell. Snixley's spell. But you don't learn that until later on. She's not really being controlled. He's just watching everything through her eyes at the moment. Wallenson the fourth brings Jig and his crew to his sister. Sasha, I believe her name. And a lot of stuff happens. Is that her name? Sashi. He's trying to get a hold of Shadowstar, but Shadowstar's not answering. So he's like, okay, let's see if I can't do something about it. She gets free. And, in all honesty, she kills Wallenson, so he doesn't last very long. Sashi is after them, but, yeah, it doesn't work very well. I'm pretty sure Sashi dies as well. Yeah, Sashi dies because she gets lit on fire. Because they're being controlled by pixies are not they're very smart in what they do. So a lot of the stuff that she does ends to her death because they just keep on fighting. And, that's just the way it is. They actually cook her and eat her a little bit. And then they try to go back to the way they leave. Okay. I'm skipping a lot of the basic shit that I really don't care about. Yeah, so she thought she defeated the pixie that she hit. So they're back to Jig. He's trying to leave, okay? Because they need to go somewhere else. I don't remember why he's leaving. I mean, they're leaving because they don't even know what the fuck's going on. Oh, they find some ogres. Then after a while, so the ogres, they found some ogres that were walking around, and they go after the ogres where they meet Vecca. And you can tell something's up with Vecca when Jig meets up with her, because she says, "Well met, Jig, Dragon Slayer." And he's like, huh? Why would she say, well met, Jig Dragon Slayer? Not Vecca. Not Vecca at all. So, he finds out that it's pixies. So, how many pixies? A lot. They're holed up in Strom's lair. And then she's like, I killed one. And Grub's like, the ogres couldn't kill him, and then you did? They slaved the ogres and killed a bunch of them, and you and your hobgoblin pet did? Don't make sense. Vecca made it up in her mind. And it wasn't even Snixel's fault. He didn't even do anything to stop her from changing shit. She did it all on her own. Because she's fucking dumb. We were following that pink pixie. So, they're both following a pink pixie. And then they're like, okay, we need to go. Okay, so they watched them tie up a bunch of bats together. And they're like, what the fuck is all that about? And they're like, we don't even know what's going on down there. So they go down it, and they find a bunch of rock serpents that were joined together. And Jig notices that there is something off with these rock serpents. All of them are there, but it's off. So he's like, I know what to do. So, how about you Slash help me butcher this bat, and we'll get rid of this this big ass rock serpent. So Jig feeds the dead bat, to a bunch of rock serpents, and they're like, what did you do? They're not dead. I can hear them from here. He's like, give them time. We'll die soon enough. Poison. Most poisonous creatures have some immunity toxins. And then they all die. And it's like, Jig is like, it's what the pixies did. She bound those snakes together, but she didn't think it through. Look, that thing just ate most of the giant bat. But where does it all go? Digestive tract. They gotta shit it out somehow. They ain't got nothing. They have no way of going to the bathroom and digesting their food, so they all died. So they're able to climb over and keep moving. They get to a spot, and then it's Shadowstar's back. He's like, they're not from this world. Jig, the pixies aren't. And I couldn't get to you and talk to you because of it. And he's like, the pixies are weird. So he's like, they were exiled. So all these pixies were exiled. So it explains it's an imbalanced juxtaposition of realities. So Shadowstar is not sure what's going to happen. But they know that the pixies are bringing their world over from their universe to this universe to try and compensate for the fact that their magic is different from Jig's magic and for the Pixie Queen. So there's that. And he's like, yeah, I couldn't access it because of that magic. It's not part of this world. And then he's like, yeah, Vecca and her hobgoblin friend are cocooned in the magic of the Pixie world. I'm guessing they've been enchanted. The pixies are probably watching every move you make. And he's like, great. Now I gotta figure out what to do with that shit too. What am I supposed to do? Shadowstar doesn't know what to do either. Okay? This is the first time he's ran into pixies. He's not a pixie. Frickin' destroyer. He's Shadowstar. He heals things. So they run into the pit where there's the giant bats, and then they have to figure out how to get out. So Vecca, who feels her magic is much better than before, is able to use magic from her staff to make a light, and then she attaches it to Slash's nose. And they have to blindfold Slash because it's so bright he can't really see what he's doing. And so they now have light, and he leads them around. Okay? After that, when they're like, oh, the pit, we have to get across it somehow. We have to get up to this big-ass bridge. So Vecca uses a levitation spell on Slash, and Jig grows to grab him, and then Grell, and then Braff, and then they're like, foot is up there. And then there's some orgs that come along. So the orgs rope them in and grab them. Vecca was trying to escape them on a bat. because there was ogres down below and there was ogres above. So they're just trying to escape, but the ogres above caught them. And then they tied them up, and then they brought them. Vecca and Slash were knocked out. That's literally how that happened. So they get knocked out and they're carried that way. And Jig's like, yay, we get to meet this. Arnor and Rama bring their... Oh no, Vecca's not knocked out. I thought she was too. So Vecca was supposed to undo the spells, but she couldn't do it. They were not knocked out. Vecca gets knocked out by Slash. And then they bring them there. How did Slash get knocked out? Because I'm pretty sure he does. Truckle is who it is. It's Rama's aunt and Arnor's mother. They brought them there even though he wasn't supposed to. They were supposed to just look and see what was going on and then return. And they're like, oh no, the pixies will sit there and follow us. So they're trying to figure out how to get them to go away to get the ogres safe. Oh yeah, so somehow Slash gets knocked out. I don't remember. And they're like, we should wake him up because magic would help against the pixies, and maybe she can fling the hobgoblin at them. And he's like, not while the pixies are controlling them. And they're like, oh no, we need to kill them. Grell stabs Slash. And then Jig, heal the hobgoblin. He's no longer being controlled. They heal. And he's like, oh, Slash is like, you did this to me. And he's like, no, I didn't. I healed you. And it's like, he faints because he hates blood. Slash, the hobgoblin, hates goblin blood. He keeps fainting at it. And then Vecca's disappeared. So they're like, we'll fight the pixies because we don't want you to kill us. And then they're like, where'd Vecca go? She was not there. So, yeah. Now they gotta contend with that. Vecca keeps reading her freaking shit. By the way, her spellbook got worse because it got lit on fire because she's a dumbass. And then it just keeps falling apart more and more. Like, you're so fucking dumb, Vecca. So fucking dumb. You want to be the hero, but you just do dumb shit. And you're also being controlled by a pixie. And then the pixie starts talking to you. Tells you his name, tells you that I need to bring you to the queen because then you can make a deal with the queen by not killing the goblins off, and we can make the world better for both of us in this mountain. And she's like, I know what you're doing. You're trying to tell me the evil. And he's like, well, Jig will destroy everything. If Jig, who wants to kill the queen, will destroy everything because the queen is powerful. And then Jig and his crew goes and meets some pixies. Meets Penny and Far something, I don't know. Vecca has Sneaksel, who helps him escape the pixies because they didn't want Vecca to be spotted because he wants all the glory because he's just a cleaner. He just cleans up messes and shit. He's not even a powerful pixie. So he wants her for his own glory. So they need to defeat Jig to stop him from going after the pixies, right? Okay. Well, for Jig, who meets Pen and Farnax, they're like, okay, we need you. We need to bring you to the queen. He's like, well, I need something. They're like, what? He's like, why does the queen want me? She wants, when you kill the dragon, you open the way for us. You serve the queen once. You will serve her again by helping us master the magic of your world. He's like, what about the other goblins above? What are you going to do to them? The same as we would do with any pest who infested our home. Let's kill them. You're not going to do anything. Do you understand? Because we will beat the shit out of you. Even though we don't have the control of your magic, we still have magic from our world, and we are still stronger than you, so we can still whoop your ass. So Jig's like, well, I need something. I need to go get something. And she's like, wait, what? What do you need? I need a tool that was used to carve these tunnels and caves. It has the power to transfer people, magic, and things. She's like, awesome. We need to do it. And he's talking about the Rod of Creation. And he's not even sure it would work inside the pixies' magic, but he's hoping it will do something. So he's literally leading them, if I think back that way. I stopped when he's found this tunnel-like thing, and he's going to crawl into it, because the wand is in there, which, of course, I think that's bullshit now, because the wand is not there. It's with Golaka, because Golaka has it. Golaka has it, and we all know this from the last one, okay, from the last book, which was a Goblin Quest. When he and the heroes went to go to defeat Strom. And You also learn that the queen's birth was actually normally the birth gives birth. Normally a queen pixie gives birth to a successor near the end of her life, but this didn't happen. So this queen had to be raised in isolation, because when you look at a queen, you instantly fall in love and want to serve her for eternity, especially when she's asleep, because she's most vulnerable. So Jig's got to figure out how to destroy a pixie queen without falling in love with her and wanting to serve her. So, yeah. But he's leading them somewhere where the wand is, and someone pays like 170 out of 343. So, yes, that is where we are currently now. I think, how many hours do I have left? I still have 3 hours left, so I will definitely finish this by Wednesday. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday will be finished this, and I can move on to another one. But I will try to update you a little better than what I did before, because I did not update you for the last 3 days that I listened to this. My bad. I was tired. I was doing other things. I just didn't feel like it, okay? So sue me. Anyways, I'll see you in the next clip about the Goblin. Hey, guys. So, I'm a very terrible person when it comes to this stuff, but here I am, okay? I apologize. I finished Goblin Hero. Yeah. I haven't updated you since there. Okay, so all this, I already finished. Already done. I'm already on the next one, which is Magic in the Blood. For Audible. I'm already. Okay? Okay. So, we're going to go over what we last saw, whatever it is. It okay? Okay. So, Jig is leading Farnax and Penny into what I now know is a trap, because it's a fire spider nest with fire spider eggs. And he burns them both up. Using fire spiders to do it. Like, that is like chef's kiss awesome. I gotta tell you. That was a good. So, he came back from it to barf / and grow. Yeah. So, but before Penny died, Farnax got the full brunt of the explosion. Penny only got like her wings or stuff, so she still survived technically. And she was using her magic to you take the leather off from the sword hilt and wrap it up and try to reach Jig choke him, but it wasn't long enough. And the thing is that he had used the tip of his sword to knock her hand away, and it burnt her hands. So he realized that it was the steel, which they call death seal, was powerful enough to defeat her. So he stabbed her with it and killed her. And then he put her in a bag and brought her along and showed him to him. So here you go. Here's what you want. Yeah. From inside his shirt, he tossed it to the ground. Here's your proof. So, yeah, now he has a sword attached to his hand, and he can't get it unattached. Yay! So then he's like, we have to go back to the Goblin Lair. So, that's what they start doing. Shellstar can now talk to him again, because he's outside of that. They climb through they climb through what is known as the Goblin's latrine chute, where all the shit goes down. It's like disgusting. But they go up it and they come out into this little area, and then they break out, and there's Kralk, with everybody, and it's just like great. There it is. And then Krulk and Jig talk back and forth about the pixies and everything like that. And Jig accidentally pisses her off to the point where she wants to kill him. So they fight. And I'm pretty sure, who was it that killed him? I don't really remember. Oh yeah, Slash broke Krulk's neck. So Jig's now Goblin Chief. Shazar, of course, wanted him to be that. But yeah, now he's chief. Now he can sit there and rally up. So, that's what he wants to do. He wants to rally up the troops. He's going to do that after the feast because nobody wants to between them and their feast. Okay? So, he's going to rally up the troops and get them to go places. But before he can do that, a couple of hobgoblins come and they want to talk. I'm trying to think if I remember that correctly. I don't know if that's exactly it. But yes, no. Let's see. Right, okay. Right, I was right. While they were celebrating the new chief, the Hobgoblin chief sends a couple hobgoblins over to talk to him. And Slash is actually called Charok. Fucking weird. So, they lead him back to the Hobgoblin's lair, where they dodge all the traps that the Hobgoblins had put down to kill goblins. And then they talk about the pixies and everything again. And then they're like, oh yeah, we have the and now she returns. They have Vecca. Well, they don't have Vecca exactly. She sat there and told Vecca that she wanted they're gonna slay her. She didn't say how. She didn't say anything like that. So, like, the truce between goblins and hobgoblins ends today. The truce and everything that came with it. The same goes if you kill my companions, even him. So, Jig was trying to protect himself. So, the Hobgoblin chief lets Jig go. And they go to see what she wanted. Okay? So, they were hiding in the cavern, and they didn't know how Vecca knew that they were there, that they came up. And she was like, how? He was wondering if one of this group was possessed, but no, none of them had the taint of pixie magic. So he lights something, and then then Grell gives out a clean diaper, and sees the lizards, the sand lizards, of course. Lizardfish is what they call them. But they're weird things. Okay, and so they have this battle against. They have this epic fucking battle of Jig, Grell, Charok, and Prath, all against Vecca and a bunch of lizards. It's just like this epic fucking battle, and it's really good in the dramatized version. I mean, really fucking good. I mean, like, chef's kiss. I love that fucking shit. It was wonderful to listen to. Then Jig finds out that with enough training and time, Jig can do what Vecca can do: levitate, make light, essentially battle with magic if he practiced hard enough and long enough in like a year. So, yeah. So, yeah, it's... So yeah. Of course, she's still tied to Snixley at this point, and so, like... Right, I'll pass along. So... Who's playing my Kingdom Hearts? Alright, so... this epic battle that happens... Because Snixley is helping Vecca, and Vecca is, like, still losing to Jig and his crew. He leads her into a tunnel, and she goes after him, and then Jig stabs her. And then heals her. Because, get that out of there. When she wakes up, they're... Oh, my hair is tangled.
I was going to say, Granny coffee would have triggered tea because, like, you drink. Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, she wakes up. I'm like, well, you were under a spell, because she asked what happened. She goes, I descended and did all this stuff you've done. I was supposed to be strong. Jig wasn't supposed to defeat me. All that magic, and he still beat me. Yeah, he did. She's not a hero. Oh, you poor thing. Shut up. My gosh, she's so fucking blah. So, they talk about what she learned about Snixley saying about bringing the queen to her new home. He tells her about the steel. It's called death metal to them, and it disrupts their magic. So, it really is his fault the Pixies came, because they took all the death metal out of his Strom's cave after he was dead. So, then Neveka learns about Krog being dead. They go back to the Hobgoblin lair, and they talk about what they're going to do. Jig decides what's going to happen. So what Jig wants to happen is that he's going to have a whole bunch of Hobgoblins and Goblins guarding the lair, while waiting for the ogres who are going to obviously come up, because they saw Vecca through the eye, so they know where the lair is now. So they're going to come up. He's going to take a bunch of other Hobgoblins with him to go down to the Queen's lair. And that's where the fight's going to happen. He's hoping the Hobgoblins and Goblins will all live, and all of the non-fighting combatants, such as the babies and everything that are old and young that can't fight, are going to be hidden in the Goblin Cave, hoping that the protections will stay there, and it won't be a bad fucking thing, you know? And so, they go down. They get to the pit, where they find everything is happening, okay? So, the Pixies are setting up the pit, trying to make it more friendly for the Queen and everything. Vecca and Slash go off on their own. Chark. I keep forgetting his name is actually Chark. They go off on their own, okay? So they're off on their own, and they're going to do their own thing. Actually, what they do is they go to Strom's lair. When they get close to it, a bunch of Pixies attack, and Vecca uses her magic to levitate Chark around for the Pixies to fall after him. And then she drops him, well, she can't see it, and he drops into this, like, tunnel area, and then she breaks the magic, of course, and goes to Strom's lair. She finds Snixley with another Pixie. She kills the other Pixie and badly injures Snixley, because Snixley really does not have the abilities to fight, because he's not a warrior. He's just a clean-up freaking Pixie. Okay? So she's looking at this big-ass dome thing that is obviously pulling the magic of the Pixies into their world, and she's like, how the fuck do I destroy this? And then she hears Chark coming along talking to the Pixies about it and everything. She does eventually destroy the thing when she finds out that it's actually Strom's bones that have been melded to make it into the draw, because there's magic in his bones. So she destroys those bones to ensure that the magic won't be able to hold the portal. So the portal does get shut down. Now, while that is happening, Jig is trying to find his way down to the Queen to kill the Queen. He does get down there, and the two new goblins that you're introduced, one is Grop and one is something or another, Noshiki or another. I forgot her name. Anyways, it's not really that important. They are there too. Not a lot of goblins survive it, but I remember Grop's name because he actually runs off into the pit because he looks upon the Queen, and the Queen tells him to go, and he just goes, and he just drops into the pit and dies, obviously. And the other one, the female one, looks upon, and she protects the Queen. But the thing is that Growl and Braff there, and they prevent her from doing, I think it's them, some stuff I wasn't actually paying all that much attention to for the details, to tell you the truth. But, long story short, she gets knocked out. Jig, who looks upon the Queen, wonders why he's not being controlled, fears that he's going to eventually be controlled, and actually does end up stabbing... No, Actually, it's a fire spider. So the fire spider, Smudge, sits there and goes up to the ceiling and drops down on top of her wings, lighting them on fire and smoking and everything. And while she's distracted, he stabs her, and she falls into the pit. And all there fly after her, and they all fucking die, going down to the pit. Now, Jig has an arrow in him from the female goblin who became memorized. And so he's dying. And he's like, I can't heal myself. I got nothing. So he falls off and dies. After Vecca destroys the portal and magic starts going away from the pixie's magic starts dissipating, Braff heals himself and heals Jig because Tumulus Shadowstar speaks to him. Now, Tumulus Shadowstar reached out to Grell first, and Grell told him to go fuck himself. So, he wiped that from her memory and approached Braff. And Braff agreed. He healed his own feet, which had been charred off. And then he sits there and heals Jig. And they all go back up. So Jig makes Grell chief. And then threatens everybody that if anybody kills Grell, there'd be hell to pay. That all the stuff that he used, all the powers, all the stuff that he healed, all the injuries and stuff that they suffered would come back onto them tenfold if Grell died. Now, Vecca still has some magic. They have this whole thing where Braff is going to start setting up a, Chark's going to set up pixie traps for the rest of the pixies that are still in the lair. And the hobgoblins and the goblins are actually going to come together. There's going to be no more traps between the goblins and the hobgoblins. They're actually going to work together to survive. Also, they ate Arnar, the ogre. That's funny because, they killed him because they attacked. Yeah, so that's that. Now, Vecca's talking about how she wanted to be a hero. She wanted to go out on adventures and stuff like that. And, okay. Sorry. I'm being a little distracted. Let me bring myself to this. Okay, so Vecca was disappointed because she had all this magic, she had all these spell books and stuff that she couldn't have. She wasn't Jig, who didn't have anything. He defeated a queen without magic, and she's like, I don't understand any of this. And Jig says a bunch of stuff about cheering her up, saying, the serpent thing that you fought sounds like it could have been a dragon, for all I know. And she's like, yeah. And he's like, besides, we're going to need someone to go out on an adventure outside the cave. And she's like, wait, you sealed off the cave? He goes, that was wrong of me. Because Tumulus Shadowstar says that goblins are hobgoblins and and ogres are all dying because he sealed off the cave. So he's unsealing the cave to, I don't know if to adventurers, but to allow goblins to go out and explore the world out there and bring stuff back. Because they're getting much more organized. Yes, they're still dumb as fucking rocks, but they're going to be doing things, okay? That's what it's going to be. So, my favorite character was, of course, Jig. Because Jig is the main character. Well, that's actually not the reason why. But Jig is the reluctant hero. And he is the, I don't really want to do this, but I've got to do this for the sake of my people and myself because I want to live and everything. It's just, I love how Jig is a reluctant hero. I love it, okay? So, my most disliked character. Vecca. I do not fucking like Vecca. I don't care about the Pixie Queen. It's a whatever. Snakesley or whatever. Vecca was the most irritating fucking thing ever. I loved how she was dramatized in this. I loved it. It was chef's kiss. But she's just a whiny little fucking brat with magic abilities who thinks she's gonna be all that. And she wants to ride off the coattails of Jig in a book instead of going out and doing her own fucking thing. Like, bitch, get over yourself. What stood out as memorable? The fact that Shadowstar, everything he has done is to make sure that the survival of the goblins. Because obviously, he's a forgotten god. Another forgotten god. He wants to be remembered. He really, really wants just to be remembered. So, my favorite passage for the story, I don't really have one. I find more and more that I don't really have favorite passages, especially when I'm audible reading. It's hard to just define a passage, especially when I don't bookmark shit while I'm doing audibles. Unless it's like super important. But, I guess I could just randomly open up the page and say, hey, this is my favorite. Like, I guess here, we'll pick this. I actually opened up to this part. There was a moment of tremendous pressure. She thought about the young goblins who, when harassed by mosquitoes and other bloodsuckers, would pull their skin taut to trap the bugs in place. Blood would continue to bloat the mosquito until they exploded. At that moment, Vika felt a great sympathy for those poor bugs. The skull shattered, and Vika lost consciousness. So, that's her destroying the skull, the strong skull, and the bones to that, that kept the pixie portal open. My favorite quote, actually, is this one. Haven't you ever noticed in all the songs and all the stories, adventures so often come in threes? He said one adventure, this is his second adventure, so he's got to have the third. Woo! What is that about the ending of the book? I'm glad it sets it up for the third book, the third series, his third adventure, Goblin War. I forgot what it was about, but I'm excited to get back into it as soon as I pull it, obviously. So, I really enjoyed it. I'm glad Vecca might be leaving and going away, because go away. Charlock is actually a brilliant trap boogie. He can make traps out of nothing. He can think up traps. And Braff is fucking smart. He pretends to be dumb to survive, so that way he doesn't get killed, but he's actually fucking smart. And that boy needs to do some shit, okay? What book did it remind me of? Book did it remind me of? There's so many books in my library that I can't really think about what kind of book it would remind me of, because there's just nothing like this. Besides, I guess, that time I got reincarnated as a slime, because sorta, like, he becomes a monster that's usually killed, because they're easy to kill. Goblins in this world are easy to kill because they're dumb. This book, as you know, is part of a series called Jig the Goblin, and there are 3 of them. This is the second book. You need to read the first one. And Scarlet has escaped! I read this before because of the dramatization of it. It was awesome. I loved it. Enjoyed it. I could just kiss it. Chick is awesome for a fucking goblin. And I really like the twist. There's that. I don't know. Vecca. Get rid of Vecca and that'd probably be better. Vecca. Okay, get rid of Vecca and it would have been like a 5-star. Okay, because I just fucking hate Vecca. She's so fucking irritating. Anyways. If you think I deserve a like, comment, or even your lovely subscription, why don't you go ahead and drop it down below. I will see you next illusion.